Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, doing a solo show recap of the Ravens-Dolphins game that just wrapped up. 40-0 Baltimore. What is going on with Miami? Miami's offense is brutal. This is the second time they've been shut out on the year. Should be three, if not for a literally last-second touchdown they had. Their Cutler to Parker. This is the second shutout. Should be three on the year. Just terrible. There's nothing good going on with this offense at all. Jay Ajayi starts the game off, gets a 21-yard rush, and then his next 12 carries go for a total of 2 yards. I mean, it's terrible. It's hard to blame Ajayi for this. If you watching that game, the line gives him nothing. He's getting met by 2-3 defenders in the backfield every single time he gets the ball. He doesn't get a chance to go anywhere. If he gets 0 yards on a play, it's almost like that's a win for him, the way they're getting to the backfield. But it doesn't really matter how good of a player he is or could be if the line's giving him no time. In fantasy football, he can't be. He's just becoming not a relevant player at this point. We're getting to the point where we got to start thinking that Jay Ajayi is not an automatic start anymore. I mean, everyone's been thinking about this, but it's Ajayi. He gets all the volume. You have to start him, but if that offensive line doesn't improve, and why would it at this point? It's going to be a hard thing to do to start Ajayi, but with most team situations, you almost have to yet. And it's frustrating because Ajayi was the first round pick in some leagues, at least the early second round. Supposed to have another, at least good year. Even in a down year, you wouldn't have expected this. It's just the offensive line is just not doing anything for him. Overall for Miami, before we go over to the Baltimore side, Stills had 5 for 65, so a decent outing. They looked for him a lot deep. Good to see that from Stills, but the offense just couldn't get anything going anyway. Landry, 5 for 33. Bit of a disappointment this week after he's had a couple good weeks in a row. Had 3 weeks in a row with a touchdown. But, I mean, with the way they played, you're just not going to get anything going. Matt Moore just wasn't effective today at all. So on the Baltimore side, this is where it's a little more interesting. Alex Collins, that was a pleasant surprise to see that from Alex Collins today. 18 carries, 113 yards, caught 2 balls for 30. Just a terrific game, and he looks really good. I mean, I've been going back and forth on Collins, these last few weeks. I actually own him on a few of my teams because you could see that he was starting to get more action, more carries. He's getting all the early down work. And then today he just really put it together and he looks like a good running back. But there's Javorius Allen, 17 carries himself. So they this big of a lead, you're running the ball quite a bit. Allen had 17 for 55. So that was okay, but he didn't look anything like Collins. But he didn't get his catches today, only 1 for 2 yards. That's usually what Allen does, picks up 6-7 catches. Wasn't able to do that today. Flacco gets knocked out of the game on that late hit by Kiko Alonso. Mallett comes in, didn't have to do much. He only threw the ball 7 times, completed 3 of them, 20 yards, got a touchdown out of it. Touchdowns went to Macklin, who Flacco threw to. Ben Watson got the other. Only 2 catches for 6 yards, but he got a touchdown if people were streaming him this week. But this is a tough game because there's just not, really the main story here, I guess, the only good story, it's Alex Collins. And you're probably going to be putting him in your lineups, I think, here for a bit. At least, I think it's for real. I really do. His yards per carry has been up, which is hard to really trust yards per carry, especially when there's not a lot of volume behind it. But it's starting to get to the point where he's been doing this a lot. They're obviously starting to trust him a bit more. And he's at least a flex option at this point. And possibly even running back 2 material with how he's been playing. And I wouldn't be against it. I'd like to see more. You'd like to see more, obviously. You'd like to see another week of this. But, look at like Ajayi. If you got players like that, you'd rather play Alex Collins at this point. He's been continually picking up good yards, and I hope to see this continue for him. So, that was the big takeaway for me for this show, or this game. It's Alex Collins, and the fact that you can't trust Jay Ajayi anymore with that terrible Miami offense. I don't know what needs to be done there, but man, I kind of thought after the Jay Cutler injury that this could be Matt Moore's team going forward. But after tonight, I don't see how that can even be the case anymore. It's not, it can't be. There's Jay Cutler is going to hopefully, he doesn't bring much, but he's probably bringing more to the table right now than what there was tonight. I guess maybe, I don't know. It's a bad offense. It's a bad offense. And it's really hard to trust any players. Like, you like to play Landry or Stills possibly, or Parker maybe coming. Maybe they need Parker to get back there. And I don't know. Parker, I had high hopes for Parker as well, but with this offense, without a quarterback who you can trust, yeah, I just don't even know. Don't know at all. Might as well, let's go through some injuries here quick before we end up the show. Just, not involving this game. If you want to look around the league. Golden Tate from the Lions, he looks like he's still probably not going to be playing this weekend, but he's closer to playing than probably expected at this point. He's been limited in practice, which was interesting to see. I really didn't expect him at all to be coming back. Another story because of that is Kenny Galladay was getting upgraded in people's ranks because of it. If Tate was going to be out, maybe Galladay's coming back and be able to, but he wasn't practicing Thursday. So if you were thinking about Galladay, I would probably stay away from it. Emmanuel Sanders hasn't been officially ruled out yet for this weekend against Kansas City, but he hasn't been practicing. So as you expected, you probably don't expect to see him at all this weekend. Melvin Gordon, limited in practice. I don't expect him not to play. I think he'll be out there, but he's had injuries throughout the season, really. And practices have been limited, but he's going to be out there. He'll be playing. No, don't worry too much about his on your team. I'd put him out there. I think this is the way to go. I think he's going to have a good week. He should be healthy, ready to play. It'll be a good one for him. But I think that'll wrap it up for this show. It'll be it for the week. Be back on Sunday night. Jeff is going to be back as we go over all the games from Sunday in week 8. Recap everything, all the top plays, disappointments. We'll go through all that. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions for the weekend, start, sit, all that, go check us out on Twitter at the FF Prophet. You can ask us questions there, or on Instagram at fantasyfootballprophet. And also, you can always email us, fantasyfootballprophet@gmail.com. I'll talk to you guys on Sunday night.